Welcome everyone to another episode of Brazos and Beyond. I hope everyone is having a fantastic weekend. It's absolutely beautiful out here today. Not a cloud in the sky. I'm going to start off this episode. I'm not real happy about this, but I have not seen a hummingbird in probably the better part of 4 days. It's been about 4 days since the last time I actually saw at least one hummingbird. And unfortunately, I think the migration period, at least for this area of southeast Texas, is done. And we've had some rather cool mornings, if you want to call mid 60s, low to mid 60s in the morning. Cool evening. It was definitely comfortable, but I have not seen a hummingbird in quite a few days, and I'm kind of sad about that. That was usually my morning routine. Sit out here, maybe drink a cup of coffee, and watch the hummingbirds. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that. I did take one of the feeders down. I'm just gonna keep it at 2 for now, and I'm gonna continue to put those out because you never know when they will show up. But we've talked about maybe putting a regular bird feeder. There's tons of mockingbirds. I've seen a couple of blue jays and some other birds that, hey, let's share the love and give them a place where they can come and get some seed and stuff like that. And you never know, it might help my grass fill in a little bit more. But on today's show, I'm going to take a few minutes to spotlight a couple of people on the social media platforms, one on Facebook, one on TikTok, that I feel deserve a little recognition, even from a tiny little channel like my own. I really enjoy what they do. I think they're doing a great service to the state of Texas, and anybody who wants to know more about the great state of Texas, the place that I call home, and hope and pray that I never have to go north of the Red River to live. And you know, they say you can take the person out of Texas, but you can't take Texas out of the person. That I'm one of those people. So, but I hope I never have to leave. Anyway, we're gonna spotlight these two individuals, and we're also going to talk just a little bit about a river that is also a big part of my childhood. And at one point in Brazoria County, where I grew up at, these two rivers are about 7 miles apart. And I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk about the San Bernard River in our From the Banks segment. So without any further ado, let's talk about our first gentleman in this week's Brazos and Beyond Spotlight. Our first spotlight is going to be about John Sorsby. He is on Facebook, and I will definitely put a link to his Facebook page in the description. But he does these amazing, really educational, really entertaining videos going around Texas to small towns, and he recently just finished going to all 88 state parks, and he does reels, the Facebook reels on on these places that he goes, and always has some very interesting historical facts to share on these. And being a bit of a history nut, a history nerd, whatever you want to call me, when it comes to Texas, these are very enjoyable. And I do invite you to go and check out his Facebook page, watch his reels. He did some on to Brownwood, Texas, and that was probably one of my favorite ones that he did, just because I went and spent a whole lot of time during my summers when I was pre-adolescent, and we went to Brownwood Lake at least once or twice every summer for years, and I used to know Sandy Beach like the back of my hand. And it's been decades since I've been back to Brownwood Lake, and I'm sure it's changed quite a bit since I've been there. But it's just it's an amazing amount of effort and love and dedication that John has put into these reels, and does the research and everything like that. So I highly recommend him. Go ahead and go and check out his Facebook page, watch his reels, and again, I'll have the link to his Facebook page in the description below. But it's just really awesome stuff. For this week's From the Bank segment, I want to also talk about a river, like I said earlier, that holds a pretty significant part of my life. It's a river that I've been on countless times. I remember sitting on a dock in the Churchill area with a cane pole and catching 32 really small fish with that cane pole. And even though I just, let them go after I caught them and counted them and everything, it was fun. And there's a lot of memories of fishing and swimming and things like that in the San Bernard River. And what I'll do is I'll bring up on the split screen, and I'll show you at one point between 2004, which is just before you get into Lake Jackson. You'll see here where the Brazos crosses 2004, goes underneath 2004, and just 7.1 miles down the road, when you cross over 36, 2004 turns into 2611, and you come to the San Bernard River. Now, this is a river that I did a video series on with Lone Star Spirit. And the reason I'm bringing this up is the health of the river. If you're on, and for lack of measurement or anything like that, I'm going to say maybe the lower 1/3 or lower quarter, 1/4 of the San Bernard River, if you were there, if you lived there, it's a relatively healthy river. It's full. It's got plenty of houses that are right there along the banks of the San Bernard. You've got subdivisions there, and it's a really nice looking river. It's wide enough for boating activities, jet skis, fishing. All of that is great with the San Bernard. But that seems to stop somewhere between Highway 36 and 1301, Farm Market Road 1301, just outside of West Columbia. And what I want to do is show you some of the footage that I was able to get when I went to, or as close as I could get to, the actual start of the San Bernard River. And this is a really small, short river. I think it's 100 and maybe 147 miles, something along those lines, long. And it starts near a very small town called New Ulm, and goes on down and empties out just south of Freeport, Texas. And the health of the river north of that dam that's between Highway 36 and 1301, the river is in just horrible shape. And one place in particular, bowling lingo, you spit in the river at that spot, and chances are it's going to come out of its banks, and it's because nothing has really been done to fix that, make it better. And I do believe that part of the biggest issue is that with that dam, I believe that was put up basically so the Phillips 66 plant just outside of Sweeney, Texas could have a barge dock, a barge landing, and basically to hell with the rest of the river. They just cared about being able to get their barges up and down the San Bernard River for commerce purposes, and the rest of the river has just been basically left to die. So I'm going to stop talking for a moment, and I'm going to show you a few clips from previous visits, or my previous visit to the San Bernard River at a couple of different locations, and you'll actually get to kind of see the health of the river in a couple different spots. But I felt the need to go ahead and talk about the San Bernard, shed some light on the troubles. We'll just call it the troubles of the San Bernard. All right, so now we are here, maybe less than a mile from where the San Bernard River starts. We're here on Reichart Road, and it is just it's bumpy. It's a bumpy dirt road. And as I turn the camera around here, you can see that there is just a single lane bridge that goes over the San Bernard here. And something that just blew my mind as I drove up is the shape of the San Bernard here at basically its beginning. It's very low, and from what I understand, the San Bernard is fed by a spring at the very beginning, and you still have quite a bit of, lush greenery here, and seeing some of the trees turn colors, and it's very quiet out here. And you can see that there's quite a bit of brush and debris. Of course, there's a little bit of trash out here, but there's not a lot of motion with the river at this point. And then on the other side here, you can actually see somewhat of a break, and there's an oily substance on the water surface here. Not sure if you can pick that up in the camera. And then off in that direction, you do have where it does continue, and it looks like it may go where that grassy area is right here and go on down through the rest of the way down towards the Gulf. But very surprised at the condition of the river toward its beginning. All right, so I found this crossing of the San Bernard basically by accident, and this is on Sealy Road, which is off Cat Springs Road, maybe a mile and a half off of Cat Springs Road. Don't know why I decided to take some back roads, but I'm glad I did. Not much change in the condition of the river, and you can see from the sand bed here that, at one point this was this was a nice flowing river. It was somewhat wide, and you can see off in the distance there are some beautiful colors for our fall foliage and everything. And this looks like a fairly new bridge that I'm standing on. Thank goodness there's no traffic. There's not much traffic on this road, but yeah, the water here looks fairly clean. It's not very deep right here, and I don't think at any point it was really all that deep. You can see from the bank there that it's not a deep bank here on either side of the river. And then as I cross over here, see some more fall foliage. It's really beautiful here, and you can see some red foliage down that way. But you can see here that it looks like the water might be moving a little bit better here at this point, but if you look down a little ways, it looks like, you can see where there's a lot of that that soil buildup in spots. And I'm just out of curiosity, maybe speculative thinking on my part, if there was a way to maybe, for lack of a better term, dredge this and allow that water to flow a little bit more freely. I don't see any kind of aquatic wildlife or anything like that this far up, but this was a bit of a surprise find for me. I'm glad I did decide to take the scenic route for this. But if I come across any more crossings, we are definitely going to stop and look and see what the health of the river is at those points. Now we are at the San Bernard River at 1301. And as you can see, I am underneath the bridge and had to walk down that hill a little bit. We're not far from Hanson Park. As a matter of fact, I will go ahead and show you the distance between Hanson Park and where we are here on a map. But this, again, looks a little concerning, especially in this area, this close to the mouth of the Bernard. Look at that. Looks like a creek. And it's pretty steep here. I don't want to lose my footing. I mean, you can tell the water is moving and all. There's a lot of debris. It needs to be cleaned up over here, and and if you look on the map, and I may bring it up while I'm talking here, but at points, the San Bernard looks like it's a stream. We're gonna walk over to the riverside over here, and you can get right up on the river, which is pretty great. And I want to thank the Lord God Almighty for holding off the rain. It's supposed to rain pretty bad this Christmas weekend. It is the 23rd, and I'm on my way to my family's place to visit with them for Christmas. And here's the San Bernard. Basically, we'll call it West Columbia, and there she is. It's nice. I mean, she's not incredibly wide here, but in much better health as compared to where we saw the San Bernard near New Ulm, and even in East Bernard, which really isn't that far away. For our echoes from the marker segment, and I think this is the first time I'm actually doing it as part of the part of the program, but we're going to talk about a individual on TikTok that basically goes around to these historical markers, and as he puts it in his bio, he's a history nerd with that likes to spruce things up. So what he does is he goes to these historical markers, and if they need a little bit of TLC, he provides that. He basically repaints the marker and makes it to where the ones that you can't read due to erosion or weathering, things like that, where actually people can go to these places and actually learn a little bit of Texas history from these markers. And they play such a vital role in spreading the history of Texas to people who may be visiting the state or may be visiting a town for the first time. And his name, or he's on TikTok, he goes by the moniker Chris Restores. And again, I will put that link to his TikTok page in the description below. But he's got some really cool videos, and I got to thank my beautiful girlfriend for bringing him to my attention, because I do not go on TikTok very often, and she showed me these, and I thought it was really amazing. So definitely go and check out his TikTok page and see some of the videos and the work that he's doing. Again, it's a very important thing that he is doing, and I appreciate both individuals that we talked about today doing what they do, because it is invaluable to the history of the state of Texas and just Texas in general, and they're doing it of their own volition, and it's something that they're proud of doing. And I want to get them as many viewers and followers and things like that that I can. And you know, maybe we'll get lucky one day and I can get one of them to come on the program and talk about some of the cool stories or little anecdotes and things like that that they've encountered on their travels throughout our wonderful state of Texas. But that's going to wrap up this episode of Brazos and Beyond. Thank everyone for viewing, and I will put this out there. Make sure you go and check out the video, the previous video I put out with our interview with Trey from Sincere. If you are a fan of the heavier side of rock music, Sincere is definitely a band you should check out, and just check out the interview I had with Trey from Sincere. So until next week, this is Charles, this is Brazos and Beyond. Everybody stay safe, be kind, and we will talk to you next week.